I don't know if that is next. Is that what's coming up the next? After conscience. Give me a few minutes. I get the chance to turn the page here. But the song of the day, very well known song. Freddie Mercury was the vocal. John Deacon was the bassist who composed the song, and the song is Another One Bites the Dust. And I don't know, I'll give you a few minutes to kind of hone in on, the sound of that, Ha! That's it. Another one bites the dust. That's where we're going. Another one bites the dust. But I want to hone in. There's 3 verses according to the Genius Lyrics. I went to geniuslyrics.com, and according to them, there's 3 verses. I want to hone in on the 3rd verse of this particular song. I'm not going to try to sing it. But like I said, I think it was old enough and well known enough that you would know if I said the song of the day is Another One Bites the Dust. But in the 3rd verse, it goes something like this. There are plenty of ways that you can get along. There are plenty of ways you can hurt a man and bring him to the ground. You can beat him, you can cheat him, you can treat him bad and leave him when he is down. Yeah, but I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for you. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. And then out of the doorway, the bullet rips, repeating to the sound of the beat. Can y'all hear it? Don't. Another one bites the dust. So what I want to hone in on is this. Why cryptic? Why connoisseur? Why conscience? Or the way I fixed it, because it was kind of long, and then I didn't want to give too much in the beginning. But the title I would give it is Conscientious Connoisseur of All Things Cryptic. What if, bear with me in this folly, you being the light worker, you being the disciple of God, you being the warrior that you are, is being prepped for battle, for battle. Well, why did you pick the song Another One Bites the Dust? I want to say to you today, let me put my head down first. Enough! Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the... Not one more! Where you live, in your home, on your job, your neighbors, in your community, falling head first into the next pit that darkness has laid for another individual. See, by the 3rd verse of this song, let me take a drink. By the 3rd verse of this song, like after the bank having been robbed, I can visualize the person making a change. Enough was enough. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. That's why it says, there are plenty of ways that you can hurt a man. That's somebody coming to themselves and bring him to the ground. I would imagine that's that person themselves. They were hurt, brought to the ground. He goes on to say you can beat him, you can cheat him, you can treat him bad and leave him when he's down. I'm saying on today, enough. He said, but yes, I'm ready for you. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. And then it goes on to say, out of the doorway, the bullet rips, repeating to the sound of the beat. Enough already, enough. Let me move a little bit further. I said earlier that some of us feel like we don't stand a chance because we don't know enough. We're not intuitive. We're not discerning. Our gifts aren't what we hear other people's gifts has, but you have a conscience. And it doesn't stop there. If you want to know about something, I'm talking about the connoisseur part of this evaluation. The connoisseur, I just talked about your conscience, but the connoisseur. If there's something you don't know and you want to know about it, what's wrong with doing a little research? Those of us that belong to God, we need to know, first of all, who it is that we serve, who it is that we're living for, who it is that is God all by himself. I say sometimes in prayer, I say, God, there's none like you. You're the one and only, and the only one. When you begin to talk about other deities and things that are out there, God said himself by way of his word, he said, I know not any. See, God is a jealous God. But in this day and time, for such a time as this, I talk about it that in the affirmations. I am that I am like-minded, having the mind of Christ. For such a time as this, who knoweth if we're not being called to the front line, called into place and to position as the gatekeepers in this world, assigned to be the shepherds watching over his sheep. Do the math. Do the research. Get into the word. If you don't want to get into the word, go to the World Wide Web and begin to do some research. Find out who you are as a believer. Find out who you are, what you have to offer. Get some background. I'm remembering a time, Shannon, I just talked about at the job that I was formerly at. I was at that job for like 20 some odd years. But anyway, I remember him saying jokingly, he talked about when he get into the fancy things of life, the accoutrements, the fancy things, you know. But you need to know what you're in, what it's all about. Do some research. Perfect your craft. I know that sounds negative. But perfect what you're in. That man was trying to recruit me. I really believe he was. But if you wanted my attention, you better tell me something. You got to let me in on something to see if I'm even halfway thinking about coming in that direction. Otherwise, away. Get away from me. What I got is good enough. But I want to believe that God on today is creating warriors around the world. Warriors, 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 warriors. Thank you, Jesus. But you, on your way to being that perfected warrior, you got to learn some things. Here, let me let you in on a couple of secrets. Couple of secrets. The enemy of our souls do not want to see you prosper. Do not want to see you progress in any kind of way. And he finds all the kinds of ways to get in. Cryptically. You know, back in the day, Renee, they used to talk about movies having subliminal motives. Right. You remember that? Subliminal motives. Subliminal moments. Can I tell y'all a secret? You see these eyes on the other side of these glasses? These eyes happen to be the windows to my soul. I have to make a covenant with my eyes. Everything these eyes see ain't good. I'm not going to name no movies. I'm not going to name no songs when it comes to our hearing. These are our gates, if y'all didn't know. They're gates. They're entryways. Our ears, they're entryways. Our mouths, our ability to touch and smell. These are all gates. They're entryways. They're access. They're egress. We have to make a covenant with our... What do you mean, Charles? Well, listen. Because one thing I do in this place, she's grandma. I'm pointing to Renee right now. I'm granddaddy. I'm granddaddy. And the kids tend to come by. Or they're here quite often. And depending on what's being watched on television, I have to be cognizant of their whereabouts, or if they're here or not, because depending on what I'm looking at, I'm concerned about what they see. I'm concerned about what they hear. And I'm saying to you on this 27th day of July that you need to be concerned about the windows to your soul, what you see with your eyes. Because the enemy, the adversary, the antagonist of the brethren is looking for a way in to corrupt you, And depending on what you see and or hear or touch, come on now, because you can touch some things or someone you ain't got no business touching. Huh? And they cause triggers to a part of you that you thought was asleep, to a part of you that you thought you had wraps on. I'm talking about God creating warriors that have perfected their ability to know when the enemy is lurking about. This is where I'm headed with that. We need to know the workings of darkness. We need to know when evil is in our midst. We need to know. Back in the day, we told our children, stranger danger, stranger danger, stranger danger. Our conscience, if you're not intuitive, if you don't have the spirit of a discernment, something on the inside should trigger stranger danger. Just on yesterday, I chuckled because what I was looking at on television, you know, the lady just got through doing something with her fingers she shouldn't have been doing. And then she went to some water. She started sprinkling some things on the water she shouldn't have been doing. And in my mind, it popped in and says, this is the very thing I'm going to be talking about. So I looked back out of the corner of my eye. The kids weren't here. I don't want to name the movie because, like I said, it's not my job to do that. But she was here, and she didn't know what the message was going to be. Because I try to keep it under wraps until I know for sure what I'm going to talk about. But I looked back to see if she was watching, and then I saw my chance. Y'all know what I did? I'm talking about me, y'all. I'm talking about me. I turned the channel. I was like, nope, I'm not sitting here watching that. I don't need no triggers right now. Not like that. And so help me God. If you help me to keep me, it is so. In Jesus' name. Let me move a little bit further. I've got triggers. Darkness. Awaken, arouse, submit, surrender, yield. That's what the devil want to do. He wants you to wants you to submit to his workings. He wants you to miss it. He's cryptic with it. Remember me talking about in one of my videos when I talked about Denzel in one of his movies, I think Training Day. He said, I'm mechanical. What did he say? What did I say? Manipulative, mechanical, methodical. He said, I'm methodical with this. The enemy is methodical. Look! Y'all know the enemy of our souls. He ain't no dummy. Ain't no dummy by no means. And I'm not praising him. I'm telling you factually. I want to believe, bear with me in this folly. And you're going to hear me saying that quite often, video after video. I don't care. It's my way of making a point. I want to believe that God is perfect. He's making us tactical.